YouTube and Whatnot star Chase After the Right Price recently had some epic auctions on Whatnot for complete in box NES goodies. Yours truly dropped over $1,000 with Chase. Was I a sucker or was I a brilliant buyer? We're going to find out as we unbox these gems today. Hey folks, it's Doug from It's All Doug in Games, and in fact, we're going to do an unboxing today. So as I stated in the intro, Chase from Chase After the Right Price, a renowned YouTuber and also a Whatnot seller, did an incredible auction over the past week from a significant collection of Nintendo and Super Nintendo items. I, being an NES complete in box collector, was really primarily focused on the NES side of it. But there were some incredible items that he had acquired and put up for auction. I scored a number of these games. They were in varying conditions, from pretty good to absolutely amazing. So we're going to go through and look at the unboxing of 3 shipments. The first one I was so excited to see, I hadn't even thought about making a video. I had already opened the box, so we're just going to look at the games themselves from that shipment. But then for the other 2, we're going to open them on camera and get our initial reactions to what I won. Again, I spent a little over $1,000 on the totality of what you're seeing. I actually feel that I got a pretty good deal considering condition. And of course, we talked in a previous video about how important condition is to value, at least in my humble opinion. So without any further ado, let's jump in and take a look at the items that I purchased from my good friend Chase After the Right Price. So you can see here, the first lot was a lot of 4 complete in box NES games, 3 of which I did not have in my collection. 1, I did have Star Tropics, but I wanted a significant condition upgrade, and thus this purchase. I think what we're going to do here is let's take a look first at Sesame Street Countdown. Now that is a very hard game to find complete in box. Pretty much everything I've bought is typically considered what I've identified as fairly low print titles, or the kind of things that you generally will not see complete in box often, if at all. And here we have Sesame Street Countdown. The Count talks to your child. Well, goodness gracious, I'll sign me up for that. And as you can see here, the condition on this box is really fantastic. There's a couple of creases on the box, extremely minor, all things being said. But in terms of, again, how often or how not often this comes up at all in any condition, I think I got a fantastic example of this game. Very happy to put it in the collection. Next up, again, another kids game from High Tech. The High Tech Expressions made both the Sesame Street game and the Mickey games. This is Safari and Letterland. You can see that yellow striped Nintendo Entertainment System on the top. That's your way of knowing this is a late in the NES life cycle game. Another one that was very low print, but in fantastic condition. Very happy again to add that to the collection. Here we have SNK Touchdown Fever. Yet another example of a game they didn't make too many of. Obviously, it's a football game, and it kind of like, I guess it kind of fell behind Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Super Bowl in terms of games people remember their football games, but this is a pretty good copy. I'll call this above average condition. Again, you just don't see that game very often in the wild. Now, Star Tropics, yes, you do see this in the wild all the time. It's quite frankly a very common game, but I had the opportunity to upgrade my copy to this one. I don't even think this imagery, this 4K, does justice how good the condition of this box was. My goodness gracious, this is probably the finest copy of Star Tropics I'd laid eyes on. Now, the manual didn't have the letter attached to it, but I had one, so therefore I was able to go through and complete that. Now let's go to an unboxing. Here it is. Here's the first unboxing that we're going to all see it for the first time what I got here. As you can see, Chase and his crew does a very, very good job packing their items. I've purchased many things from them. They are always outstanding at packing things and making sure they arrive to me safely. Lots of packing materials, and we're going ahead and carefully unwrapping the many, many layers of the materials. Here we have the set of Funko Land sleeves from the Funko Land. A lot of these games came from a Funko Land oriented collection, so that was cool to pick up. And here we have a couple of titles. The first is Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. Now, we were made apprised of the fact that it was a little bit crushed in during the auction. That had nothing to do with the shipping. But all in all, that being said, it's still a very good condition copy of this game. I was very happy with it. This is a heavy hitter, folks. Coming up, Casino Kid 2, the sequel to Casino Kid. And let me tell you something, this was in really, really nice condition. It's unknown why there was a need to have a sequel to Casino Kid, but again, another example of a very low print title, and finding it complete in any condition is typically challenging, but this one, the condition of this box was just exceptional. An outstanding example of Casino Kid 2, and I was very happy to pick this up and put it in the collection. I was also surprised I didn't have as much competition in the actual auction for this as I was expecting. I'm certainly not going to complain, but that being said, I feel I got a very good price on this. Of course, again, considering the condition, there is a little bit of adhesive on the back of that cartridge. I'll have no problems getting that off, so I'm not concerned. And again, can't tell you how happy I am to knock this one off my list, and to do so with a really good example of it. So very happy with Casino Kid 2. Next up, let's do another unboxing. So this is the third package of 3 that we're going to see today. So we're going to go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what we've got inside. Again, consistent with the Chase After the Right Price experience, they do a phenomenal job with packing things. So I got a number of different types of things here. The first thing that you see here are these cases. They had a very large quantity of these clear cases that you can use to put in cartridges, and I think that these are great to have. Hey, look, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm going to be doing my own whatnot soon, selling some loose duplicates, and I wanted to have some really nice cases for the higher dollar games, so that I went ahead and picked these up, and they were quite nice as advertised. Next up, we're going to look at some of the games that I got here. And we're going to start off with a couple of complete in box games. First is Ultimate Air Combat by Activision. Yet another example. I was focusing on looking for these lower print titles that you don't see often. And boy, this one was in fantastic physical condition. A few minor dings, but again, all things being said, great condition game. And here we have Abadox. Now, this one was as advertised. It was advertised as the box having wear on it. But again, it's one of those just cool titles that I never seem to be able to find. The price was extremely fair for an auction and whatnot, so I couldn't help myself. Had to have it. Now, coming up next, here's an interesting one. These following 2 items were box only. Chase had some examples of just the box only. And in this case, we have MC Kids, a late print game. You do not see this box very often at all. It was in pretty good shape, so I figured I'd pick it up because it's a lot easier to find the carts and or the manuals than boxes for any game, and so it made sense to me. Up next, we have, again, the box only for Tengen Fantasy Zone. Now, I'm not really going and paying a lot of mind on the unlicensed games, Tengen being part of them, but Fantasy Zone is next to Tetris, the hardest to find Tengen game complete. So when I had a chance to pick up a box, well, I just had to say yes. And finally, what's probably going to be the main event of this unboxing video, a complete in-box copy of Widget from Atlas. Folks, this is a game, again, you have to pretty much go to a convention to see complete in box, and the condition on all of the components here, cartridge, manual, and box, was absolutely outstanding. It even came with an unfolded original poster insert. Again, something you just don't see that often. All around, I would say that this is the finest condition game of everything I bought, and I bought a lot of things in good shape. So there you go, folks. Widget. And that is our unboxing. Coming back to me here. So what's my takeaway? I got to be honest with you. So no matter what you think about Chase After the Right Price, I'm just going to give it to you this straight. The guy is an honest businessman. You are paying for what you get, and in the whatnot world, you get to see the condition of everything a lot better than you would on eBay. Certainly a lot better than you would on some random marketplace transaction. You know that in some cases, yeah, maybe you're going to pay more than price charting, but that's typically indicative of the fact that you're going to get a higher condition example of something than you would on average going to eBay or something else. Chase has an outstanding reputation on Whatnot, has sold thousands of items. It's one of the main ways that he works in his business model. So it's in his best interest to do right by all of his customers, and that's why I've never had a problem with anything I've purchased from him, and I've purchased many things and received many shipments. They're all shipped impeccably well. So I think that this is actually, something where you should be feeling confident at this point. Buying from Whatnot in general, they have fantastic buyer protection, and more importantly, you should realize when somebody has a huge following and has a great reputation, they have everything to lose by doing anything other than providing great service. And in this case, the proof is in the pudding. Chase did me right and filled in some key gaps in my NES Complete in Box collection journey, as well as some good condition upgrades. So I'd say overall, my take is 2 thumbs up all the way. Thank you very much, Chase, for helping me out. And, I'll be keeping an eye on your future auctions as well. To be very clear, this is not a paid endorsement. I am not receiving any compensation whatsoever from Chase After the Right Price. This is strictly a review of my experience, to be extremely clear. I'm sure you probably have your own thoughts on this, and of course, you're welcome in the comments below to do just that. Have you had good experiences with Whatnot and buying things? Let us know. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. A little bit of a teaser. I've got another unboxing video of a little bit of a different type of unboxing coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that. If you enjoy watching my stuff, please consider liking and subscribing. As always, we'll see you next time on It's All Dug in Games.